Test, test. Alright, let's get started. Um, so basically, so far, I've made a tiny mind map. So it's Mecha vs. Kaiju. What's my setting? I had a little bit of a think about this, and I'm liking the idea of like a diesel punk setting. So I really like those Machinen Krieger, I think they're called, mechs. They're typically more organic, and I just love like World War One, World War Two stuff. So I think diesel punk is probably a pretty cool setting. I generally gravitate towards that too. So I'm thinking that right now. Um, maybe a semi-futuristic diesel punk world. Um, yeah, plus it comes like a grittiness feeling that I quite like. Um, so mecha, I think one thing that's interesting about the mecha and the kaiju is that there's two ways I'm thinking that you can approach the mecha. It could be something that's already existed and the kaijus have come about, so the mecha is either being repurposed to use against the kaijus, or there was no mecha and they were created as a response to the kaiju, which I kind of like that one because it means that this kaiju is very important to nail down, and then we can design the mecha afterwards, and it'll have design considerations that are there because it was designed around fighting the kaiju, which I think is kind of neat. Um, let's see. So I kind of like that. Let me let me write that down. Let me just remove this. Mecha is a response to kaiju. Are they fast glass cannons or are they heavy duty slow tanks? I kind of like the idea that there could be both. Like they don't necessarily have to be a one size fits all. One thing I liked about Pacific Rim was the idea that there was these different kind of mechs. There's older school ones, there's newer ones. They kind of have different specialties and different characters and personality to them. So I kind of like the idea that uh, there are different kinds of mechs. Maybe I'll sketch out a couple. Maybe I'll only do one. We'll see. Dependent on pilot. Yeah, so maybe I think this is kind of fun because it feels like when I don't know a person will have like a car like a hot rod or something, or they have like a old pickup truck, like their vehicle kind of may depend on their personality. I kind of like that for the mechs as well. Like it's not just like a stock vehicle that they all use. There's like more character to it, which I quite like. Maybe one of them just has like it's just being held together hardly by like bolts and duct tape or something. It's like one hit away from just imploding, but it's really strong or something. As far as tech level, let me see what Diesel Punk tech level. What would you consider Diesel Punk? Um, Super science. Okay. Matter replicators. I would guess that they would fit under like high tech, I guess. 'Cause it's not like primitive. I think I could remove that though. Okay. I think this is a yes, because I like the idea. Monster breaking special ability. So since they're made in response to kaiju, I'm assuming they have either or weapon, a special ability or weapon that they can use to target the kaiju's weakness. And we'll figure that out once we figure out the kaiju. How are the mechs piloted? I think that's an interesting question as well. It could be manual control. Um, either through like a computer interface or it was Diesel Punk. I guess it could just be like a interior of a vehicle where you got like stick shifts and whatnot. That could be kind of neat. Or like a crane or something. I think I like the manual control, but this is kind of interesting to me too. Like if it was like Neuralink or something, like because you technically could have a pilot that is like a robot or something or cyborg, or like maybe they're just a brain and they are floating within the mech in like some kind of fluid that can pick up on their brain waves and they can control it that way. My only question would be if they have to eject, they they must have to take some kind of form because I doubt they always live in the mechanized suit. Maybe they maybe they enter like an out of mecha pod or something. But I like the idea of a manual control, I think, right now. Whether that's stick shifts or computer. Hey, calcithern. Yeah, it could be neural goop. Okay, and then the pilot is another important factor. Uh, Pilot. And that kind of overlaps with that. I'll put that there. So I kind of like the idea of it's kind of a trope, but I like when there's younger like an Evangelion that's younger people that control the Evas. And it's kind of like Snowpiercer if you've seen that. There's like spoiler, but there's they have to use kids to I forget it was control some kind of like gear or something or hold a gear in the front of the train, and it had to be kids because they were small. Um, I feel like that kind of thing is kind of neat. Like if it has to be like an old person or a young person or just some special kind of person, uh, maybe they have to have like an affinity to piloting these or something. Um, Let me see affinity to pilot mecha. So maybe not just anybody can pilot a mecha. Maybe it's an elite grouping of people. Maybe they pick them up from society in some way, like they test them or something. And I'd imagine this is like a military organization. Military unit. I don't think I want a ton of these. I I think it gets it's not as special if you have like a hundred mecha unit. I think like less than 10 because like the just imagine the amount of resources to create these things. It must be pretty demanding. So if you were to lose a mech, it would be pretty devastating, just the amount of resources that went into it. Something that resource demanding. I'll add that to the mecha. Losing one is a huge blow. Nerdy interjection. Actually, okay, I haven't really seen much EVA. I've only seen a little of that. Machines are controlled by souls of people, and they have teenagers who have strong affinity to souls. Oh, okay, interesting. The pilots in World War II were usually fairly young because all the new stuff to operate was easier. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. You're more you can mold a younger brain a little bit better. I think that's kind of neat. That's why only Shinji can pilot one of the mechas because it's his mom that got. Oh, and I had no idea. I need to watch the rest of Evangelion. I just saw a bit. It's pretty cool, but yeah. Um. Okay, I like that note about the pilots. Younger pilots are more valuable to learn controls. Um, I kind of like that. So maybe it's typically younger pilots, but there's one older pilot or something that is just such a pro at using some more primitive kind of vehicle that he was able to transfer over. I don't know. I feel like that'd be kind of neat. Um, I'll keep that in the back of my mind. Special affinity to pilot mecha tested for position. Okay. Limited number max. Less than 10. Some of this information isn't really necessary, to be quite honest. Like, so I'm gonna try to keep it pretty limited because at the end of the day we're just designing. The ask is only for one mech and one pilot, but it is kind of useful to have this stuff just in case, I do want to expand on this. But I won't go too far down the rabbit hole either, just so I don't eat too much time. Maybe he grew up with it and he molded to it. Yeah, that could be cool. He's part of the machine now. Okay, let's start figuring out the kaiju. So, where do they come from? I think this is important, obviously, because it's gonna kind of dictate whether they are, familiar to us if they come from Earth or if they're alien and they come from outside of Earth. Some kind of wrestle body for it. body. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. That kind of sucker, like it could be a mech that was one of the uh experimental ones, and they somehow fuse to the mech. It'd be kind of interesting. Um, okay, so where do they come from? Let's see. One thing I was thinking, it would be kind of neat if they were hiding in plain sight, because some mountains are quite cool. Like imagine if this was just like the back of a kaiju, and it was like a mountain that everyone could see, and like it turns out it just wakes up someday and just breaks away from the rest of the mountain. That'd be kind of cool. So it would be like a prehistoric being that has been sleeping in plain sight the whole time. So sleeping earthly origin. Sleeping in plain sight. Mountain. That's one idea. Um, I feel like that's kind of fun. I feel like space. Um, hmm. I don't think I want to do supernatural. Interdimensional is kind of cool, like a portal of some sort. Uh, hmm. I feel like I want to avoid anything too magical though. If that makes sense. Like a Hellgate or something would be quite cool, but I'm kind of vibing with the earthly origin the most. What other ways could they sleep in plain sight? A mountain. Could be in a giant tree or something. Could do, I mean, an obvious one is like they are hiding underwater, but I think Godzilla already did that. Like at least one of the movies he evolved underwater and was like ate fish and stuff. I think at least from what I recall. Farid Duck reporting from the Discord server for the challenge. Hell yeah. Good to have ya. Godzilla would be Earthcore. Let me look that up. What Godzilla origin. Radioactive. Colossal prehistoric reptilian. Resides partially in the ocean, awakened and empowered after many years by nuclear radiation and nuclear testing. I think this is kind of cool too. Like Godzilla was conceived as a metaphor for nuclear weapons. Like if we can sneak interesting metaphors into our designs, that's always fun as well. Hmm. I'm gonna have to think about that. Global warming. Oh, that could be fun. Global warming woke them up. Okay. If they were one thing that I gravitate towards is like find like diseases and plagues and all that kind of stuff interesting. And one thing I was thinking about was And this is partly why I like writing and rough gathering, like a little bit of both, because you write something and then you look at rough and like you know, an image is just an image if that's all you're looking at it for, but an image can also have a ton of ideas behind it that can be very interesting. Like I find this tree quite cool. Um, I was looking at this and thinking like what if the kaiju had some kind of effect where it's like a virus almost, and it's changing the environment around it, or as it moves, it's somehow um, leaking uh, some kind of like environmental effect or something. So it's actually changing the landscape of the Earth as it traverses. That could be kind of fun. Um, it could be like a fungal thing or like a virus or a plague. I find that kind of interesting. Let me make note of that. Does it change the environment? Like a virus, what would be the word for it? Most of that. I'm also struggling with the themes and metaphor I want to make. I'll probably stick to the creature is big and cool. Yeah, I mean that works too. I think if you honestly, you can go as deep as you want with that. I think it's interesting. There's diminishing returns at a certain point. I think it is important to have something there, and it doesn't have to be very deep. It could be, even something very simple, even like a bullet point thing where it's like, okay, I want this monster to have the impression of, uh, like a fungus or like a spreading fungus. Like just that little element will take you so far in terms of making your design a bit more interesting. So you can fall back on that because you could have uh, you know, big lizard monster, right? Like Godzilla. And say, okay, like we've all seen that, but that's pretty. He's cool and he's big, but you add that one extra element, fungus like, uh, and just that one variable added on. And you don't want to go overboard with this. You wouldn't want to have like, okay, he's also a lava guy and he's also a, I don't know, poison guy, because that kind of like waters down the message. But just having that one extra variable gives you such a, I think at least it gives you a very interesting uh concept. Yeah, just a suggestion. You can do whatever you want though, because it's meant to have fun and grow through it. So let's see. Going for a meteorite mutation. All things in the hit area get mutated into big beauty. Oh, that's cool. That's neat. Like fungus. Are they traditional humanoid? More animalistic? Do they fly, walk, crawl, etc.? I think this one is interesting 'cause traditionally kaijus they are very humanoid. I like this one. It's just like a big turkey with kind of balls for cheeks. Um, I think it's mainly because it was actually a dude in like a big rubber suit. Um, I kind of dig it. Like I like that old goofy-ish almost effect to them. There's one I really like. This one's pretty rad. Um, Gosh, where's the other one? Uh, where is it? It's this big chunky fella. Gotta be here somewhere. Either I'm blind or I didn't save it, but I think I'm just blind. Oh, this was really cool too. Like this alligator with its just that arm missing. Like there's something really cool about battle scarred animals. It shows their age. Like they yeah, that's something I typically like in design is when you see the story in a character, whether it's like aging or like weathering and whatnot. Um, so I think it'd be kind of fun to have, this kaiju. It's not perfect. It's, if it is something that is prehistoric and it's existed and hiding in plain sight, like maybe when it was active, it was, battling all kinds of other uh, monsters of the time. So it could have missing damage and missing limbs. So show a story in weathering and damage. And limb, stars, TC. I think as far as this goes, are they human or animalistic? That's something I will explore in sketches. Explore in sketches. I don't want to lock that down before I sketch too far. Like doing this mind map, it's helpful for giving like an idea to if you've seen the sandbox video, like shrink the sandbox that you're working with in a little bit. But you don't want to close yourself so far in that you don't have time to explore and think when you're sketching, because you also want to show um, visual exploration as well. This one, do they evolve? Do they evolve and have different phases? So Shin Godzilla had this really cool thing where Godzilla is evolving through the movie. I think with I think with the hiding in plain sight, if it's as big as a mountain, I don't know if that is possible because it's already pretty damn big. Like it's pretty matured at that point, I'd imagine. But it could be that it's not even the size of a mountain. It could be just the size of I don't know. It could be like a funny looking rock in the side of like a mountain, not the actual whole mountain. If we did want to do that. Or it could be that the matured kaiju it causes havoc and then it was actually pregnant and it births eggs or something and then we get the actual phases of the kaiju from there. Um, I think it would be fun to have phases. Let me see. Uh, egg. So those are two options for that. And what's their thing? I think this is important because, like I was saying before, with the adding an element, so it's not just, oh, just big lizard. Um, Giving it like an iconic feature, I think, is important. So this one's pretty obvious. It's like, okay, this guy has a knife on his head. Again, I kind of love how goofy this is. It's kind of cool as well. One thing I think is neat is with this one here, like this still has some of that goofy quality, but it feels a little bit more modernized in a way. Like I think it's just with the fidelity of like the spikes and whatnot. Um, the face is pretty goofy, but it's one of those things where it almost feels scarier and like unnatural in a way. Because sometimes I think when you make something too serious and too, I guess, too realistic, like I don't know what it is, but it you kind of lose a little bit sometimes, I think. Like there's fun going the opposite way as well. Um, but yeah, it's kind of just like thinking out loud. Uh, is there why Godzilla attacked it? Maybe. It might have been. I'm not sure. But it sounds like Godzilla just is in general a metaphor for nuclear warfare and weapons and whatnot. It makes sense because I mean, like, devastating giant, I mean, technically a weapon, just causing havoc. Kind of is just a nuke. What's their thing? So I think this I will figure out when I gather reference because I wanna I wanna specify it a little bit. I don't want to keep it wide open, so I just have no idea where I'm going. But um, I think melee is definitely a part. The knife head thing, I really like that. Uh, there's also these I got pictures of them here. Shoot, I t totally forget what these are called. Um, Jumping bugs? No, it totally escapes my brain. But these bugs are super cool. They have like these crazy horn things, and I think what I recall they were wings that devolved or something, and these bugs mainly jump apparently, but just oh, these are so cool. Just like you give a monster like this, that's so unique. It's just strange shape. Do you ever worry about being original? Not really. Like I think as long as I guess it depends what original means, because you can't really make anything that's 100% original. Like it's not gonna happen. And if you did do it, it probably would be people wouldn't connect with it at all. Um, so we kind of design uh in a way where it's like an evolution of what's come before. That's why I think that this thing is important, like having like what I was saying before with the big lizard and adding that one variable. I think the only thing we can really do is take um these base ideas and add variables to them, and those variables are what make our idea more unique. Yeah, it's kind of yeah. There does need to be a component of familiarity, because for example, uh, UI and UX for like phones, like the person that started, like the person that designed the original UI and UX for like iPhones, for example, like it's kind of like locked in now. Same with Windows. Like you can't make any huge change to the operating system. Because even like small ones, like even with Windows 11, like just the tiny changes like bothered me so much. I was like, man, what is this? And it didn't change that much. Like I kind of got looking like the old one, but you change anything too much and people are like, what the hell is this? Like they can't work with it anymore. Um, so now basically you have to slowly evolve things. Uh, because the familiarity is already kind of like locked in. Let's see. Melee. I was thinking a, s- a sound-based kaiju would be kind of interesting. Like, what if it just like it had, I don't know, like sound holes or something all on its back, and it could just create like a sonic boom and just like explode everything around it. Um, Sound-based attacks could be kind of interesting. I'm kind of meh on like the lasers and fire. Um, Acid. I feel like acid is kind of fun. Like one thing I was thinking of, um, and this actually came from this tree again, and this kind of goes to show how like one reference can, totally unrelated to kaiju, can give you interesting ideas. So I was thinking like, what if as this thing is moving, it can like open its mouth? He's like and like he's got his arms off to the side, his stupid little legs. Like as he's running, he's like just acid saliva is draining from him, and his scales are strong enough that it doesn't affect that, but it like just melts everything in the vicinity. That'd be kind of fun. Actually, I'll keep that sketch because that kind of actually illustrates the idea. Okay. Um. Oh, okay. It's grouped already. It's kind of fun. Yeah, it's leaf hoppers. Oh, they're so cool, man. I love them. There's way more to it that have like those crazy horn things. Okay, what else should we answer now? Let me put that ref there as well. Start putting some refs on the board. And I already saved a bunch here because I just stuff that I thought was cool. Um, but I'm not going to use all this. I'm going to very selectively pick references because uh, I don't know about you guys, but one thing I realized is I would I would just grab so many references, like anything I thought was cool, I threw it onto the board. And the problem with that, like with what I'm doing here, like I'm trying to specify certain ideas. and narrow down that sandbox. Uh, when you have too many references, you're keeping your sandbox too wide open. Um, because each image represents so many different ideas, and you get like 50 images, and you got like a 5,000 ideas within those images. So yeah, it's important to narrow it down because there's two kinds of references. There's reference that uh, helps you dictate the design and direction, and then there's reference that you use as like drawing reference, like, oh, how do I draw an arm? And I feel like it's almost good to separate those. It's like you have a world building design document, and then you can have your visual uh, drawing and painting reference separately. But that's just a suggestion because I've gotten caught in that so many times. Let's see. I think this is kind of cool with the big throat. Could have like saliva glands in there or something. Hmm. Geometric architecture. So actually another thing that I was thinking about is these could actually be of divine origin as well. Um, or maybe even prehistoric, like in prehistoric times, things were just, more divine origin. Um, and I always like associate that with like very primitive geometry. I don't know why, but like just some architecture and things like Pyramid Head, they just feel um above human in a way. There's something that could be kind of neat that feeds into that idea of like the leaf hoppers where they have these really crazy crowns almost. That could be kind of neat. Oh, see a calcithern. Have a good sleep. Let's see. I like that guy's face a lot. Let's see. That's kind of cool. Um, yeah, this is getting really late for the Europe folks. Let me just um okay, just making sure it saves the right place. I don't show anything I'm not supposed to show. Oh, this is really cool for like the mechs. I think I already saved. Oh, that's really cool. So I'm just gonna grab some ref here for a little bit. This probably isn't the most fun to watch, but I hope it's been like interesting at least so far, like how to think about this stuff. Ooh, there's exhausts are very cool too. distribution of rest and then higher frequency is neat. Yeah, man, they're good. I think this is a nice reference, just how different each evolution of this is. It's really cool. I guess these three are pretty similar, and then like these two are very different. If we do want to have different phases, it's pretty good ref. Where is the alligator? Here he is. Because that illustrates the idea of the damage that I want to convey. Oh, I'm glad, boy. Yeah, because that's the thing is like I feel like I always skip showing this step, and I feel like a lot of people do, because it's like, oh, like people just want to see the drawing, but honestly, it's kind of like the most important part is that starting part. Yeah, the Bjorn server people are pretty chill. I like them. I remember always seeing the daily warm up uh in the Discord, and I always had to miss it because I was like, oh, I'm just going to bed for work now. Made me sad. Let's see, mountain. So this illustrates what I'm thinking with the mountain. Basically, it could be like, I don't know, there could be like interesting scales or something off the back of the thing. And it could be like it's got like crusted stone or something on it too, so the forms are actually um smoothened out because there's debris and whatnot, like a fossil. Um, yeah, it'd be kind of neat if there was like lore from the neighboring village or something. Like, oh, that's like the I don't know, Divine Mountain or something. We could do some kind of warm-up thing for trench trials or maybe a work session time together. That'd be kind of neat. Or even just have like a weekly get together or something that people can discuss their projects and progress if they want. Yeah, that could be kind of cool. I have to figure out how to organize that kind of thing. I think this guy illustrates the what's their thing quite well, because he's literally the knife head man. Cool. I'll see if you're in there, boy. Let's see. I like the ship a lot that... Ah, dang it. It's a web. Does it work in here? Okay, it does. I like that ship a lot. It's kind of like the tech level and look that I want, because I love these rounded mechs. Oh, they're so cool. I'm gonna try to avoid looking at them though directly. Um, I'm gonna do some sketch studies and whatnot of them, but I want to avoid just copying them, because especially considering I don't have a ton of visual library, I'm more likely to just duplicate what I see a little bit too much. My idea though is I'm gonna do I've already started a little bit doing studies every night of mechs and just mechanical stuff to try to build that visual library. Oh, your egg Piono, no. Okay. Let's see what else is there here. That's really cool texture. That could be interesting for like the egg. Train is really cool. Add that. Um, that's really neat. Just the different layers to it. Oh, here's the Kaiju I was looking for before. I love this guy. So cool. There's just a dude inside that probably sweating to death. It's like, please help me. I think I want to avoid doing a primate, but I kind of like just how yellow those hands are and how it kind of ties into that picture. Like, makes me think their saliva could be like a very interesting color. This carries the idea of like the interesting crown type of thing. It's a pretty good ref for the mechs again, just the shapes. I'll probably end up tapering these references down to just a few key references after. It's kind of a process of elimination a little bit. I kind of like this guy a lot, 'cause that literally just looks like a kaiju, like standing up like that with those claws. It's really cool. I like how sleek her costume is and her hair for the pilots potentially. I think this is Paul Komodo. Dude, it's so cool. Just that weird freaking flower coming out of his chest is so cool. More neat rounded shapes. I like this outfit quite a lot too. Like a big overcoat. I think I want to design two costumes as well. Like one that is um outerwear and innerwear. Because I imagine when you're inside the mech, you're gonna want stuff that's a bit more form-fitting. You're probably not gonna wear like a big coat or anything. I think if it's a military thing too, I don't want them to be useless outside of the. Oh, I gotta use these as rough thorny devils, I think they're called. I saw these at a bug zoo I went to one time, and like they all kind of bundle together. It looks really weird. It's cool. Oh, sleep tight, dude. Take it easy. Let's see. I don't know what this is from, but this is so cool. So one thing I'm thinking is I like the idea that beside the mech unit, there are other soldiers fighting with them. I don't think the pilots would wear this stuff, but I kind of want to design that too. Uh, Soldiers from unit, or maybe they're the same unit. Um, and they could share similar shape language to the mech. I think that'd be kind of neat. I like that face a lot. So weird. There's something almost evil feeling about this, just like how he's like disassociated almost with his eyes looking in either way. Like he's looking at you but he doesn't see you. If that makes sense. I kind of like that. Like it's almost kind of like the divine thing. I like cosmic horror where like we're insignificant. I always think that's kind of neat. Um, Especially with the kaiju, I'm imagining it's just grand in scale that basically humans would be insignificant to them. Because we wouldn't even really provide good nutrients to them either. We're just so small. We're basically ants to the size of them. He's so handsome. Yeah, handsome fella. Or fish looking at. Yeah, I've seen everything. I like those weird spikes and shapes on that. What's this? That's cool. That's super cool. I'll pull that over. I'm starting to get a lot of references. I'm gonna want to taper this down. Eventually, I'm gonna want to taper it down to like 3 or 4 key references per thing. Um, so obviously these are very disjointed right now for the kaiju, but it's because my sandbox for the kaiju is like pretty big. Like I really don't know what I want yet. The mech, I have a much smaller sandbox, so I'm pretty sure and know what I want. I'm still gonna explore. Um, the pilot is that sandbox is pretty small too to play with on. Um, the Kaiju I have the least amount of decisions made, so it's the most open currently. Do you have any tips on avoiding AI results from Pinterest use? I just live with it and I just avoid clicking on them. So if you click on them, you'll see more of it. Um, yeah, it's kind of frustrating when you do see it. Oh, okay. I gotta use, this is a rattlesnake penis apparently. It's very alien looking though and kind of cool. So definitely be using that as reference. Here's the thorny devils when they all um group together. Super creepy. Hey fellow, how you doing? Okay, so I know I don't want to do an ape, so let me just grab the throat, 'cause it's the only thing I'm interested in there. What do I want? Does it walk on four legs or two legs? I kind of like the idea of it walking on two legs or floating, because then it can use its arms to fight as well. Still gonna explore it, I bet, but I'm really liking the armadillo thing. Just like it does have soft tissue in places, but it's mostly scaled, and then it has that very hard shell on its back. Oh, it's kind of cute. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, some of this stuff is really good. Whoa, what's that? That's the jaw and the dolphin? Weird. I don't think it's a dolphin, is it? These guys are cool. Oh, that's a really good ref as well for something scaled. Let's see. I'm gonna hop off here soon, and then I'll do my next phase. We'll be doing like thumbnails and sketches loosely. Starting to sketch with what we have collected here. I'm gonna collect a bit more reference for the pilot, potential pilot outfit, and inner and out of suit outfits. And I'm gonna try to taper down on my key references for the kaiju, as well as the mech. Um, but I don't feel like it's super necessary to show because it's very it's kind of just me sitting here and like thinking a little bit. Yeah, if anybody has any questions or anything, you feel free to ask. I should probably do like 5-10 more minutes and then I'll hop off. That's pretty cool. If anybody has questions on like how to approach their project or like any um anything in the brief, you can ask as well. Oh, it's kind of neat. Look how it's so broad in the chest and it thins out there so much. That's really neat. I like how the shell just blends into the skin almost. Like it, when you squint, you really don't even see the distinction between shell and skin. It just kind of becomes one, and then there's like there's these few little cues that we see pop off, the harder kind of edges. Aw, little sleeping buddy. May look at leaf hoppers some more. Oh, the head is cool. Feels like a microphone or something almost. This looks so sci-fi actually. It's really neat. I can see this guy blasting out like a sonic sound waves through his mouth. Just vibrating everything. That has that cool kind of geometric, divine kind of feeling I was talking about before, like cosmic. Oh, there's those vultures that have acidic, uh, very acidic stomachs where they can melt bone. Let me just look up acid animal. Whoa, that's cool. Oh my gosh, so much cool stuff. It's not real though, is it? Oh, it's a dinosaur thing. Okay. That does not look real. Yes, so like the big chunky coats, that's cool. I want to try to make these kind of fashionable, especially that it's like a specialized unit. What the heck is this? Giant coat. But yeah, especially considering this is like a specialized unit, I just feel like that'd be kind of cool. Um, Wetsuit. Kind of cool. Wetsuit. World War I. Kind of cool. It could be like life support systems on the actual suit itself. The flight suit is rad, but it's kind of a trope a little bit. Like you see it referenced a lot. I do really like the patterning here, this Nausicaa outfit. We could even just add interesting patterning to the suit as well. That'd be quite interesting. So it could be interesting layering to it. Like if you need to eject, is there a life suit attached to it? Is there a, I don't know, like a airbag that just inflates so you don't, if you really smash against a wall or something, you just rock yourself too hard. I've always liked this a lot, that almost Gambeson like padding. Oh, oh, I think I remember the pod in Evangelion that shoots out. The weight on the back of that is kind of cool, actually. Yeah, here's some cool stuff. Let's see, Soviet spacesuits. I don't want their suits to be this thick, but I'm thinking, like, what if this is more like a wetsuit and you had some of those patternings and texture? I feel like the wetsuits are cool, but they're too sleek almost, and I just really love all the different interests you get here. Different textures. The armor bit's really neat too. That's really cool. What the heck? The arm thing. Yeah, I wanna avoid looking at this stuff though a little bit. It's pretty cool. Ooh, boots are kind of neat too. What is that, like an airbag thing or parachute? It's kind of cool. Like that could be hanging off their. It's interesting it's on their lower back. I kind of like that. Again, it could be a thing that they just parachute out of their mech. Asymmetry is neat. I'm definitely gonna do something that has a lot of textural interest with the pilot, I think. It's gonna be skin, not skin tight, but maybe. It's gonna be very form-fitting with lots of um, kind of tangible texture. Okay, let's see here. I think I didn't write, but what weapons does the mech have? So melee, of course, like punching and stuff. I'm sure it could do like if you're in war, if you don't have anything else, you'll use your fists. So they have that, of course. Um, do they use guns or swords? I think it could be varied. I kind of like the idea of them having like guns that are made for them. I feel like that's quite cool. Um, Specialized firearms. Uh, Again, it could be cool if each one has like a personalized look. They could have personalized weapon choices too. Like imagine one of these mechs with like a trench club. That'd be kind of sick. Like the mecha variant of a trench club. Just gonna write that down. Uh, and maybe their monster breaking ability uses up a ton of fuel, so they don't want to use that much. It's like a last resort type of thing. Let's see. Um, okay. Yeah, I think we're good for now. I think I'll leave it there. All right, thanks for hanging out. Hope that was useful. It was kind of, again, it's not like the most exciting. I'm not drawing, but it's definitely an important part of starting out on something like this, like doing at least a little bit of planning and figuring out direction. Um, Shrinking that sandbox a little bit so so it's not just like limitless the directions you can go in. And it's cheapest to do it at this stage too. Like I've only spent like an hour and a half, and I have a lot better of a direction now. So when I do actually get to drawing, I can avoid floundering and not being sure where to go as much. But yeah, alright, catch you guys later. Bye bye.